Today we're checking out one of the most divisive Gundams in terms of design and context. In this video, we're taking a look at the Premium Bandai Master Grade Enhanced Double Zeta Gundam. A big thank you to JP Fans for providing today's model kit. If you want to hunt down rare Gunpla kits and other anime collectibles directly from Japan, head over to the video description, use my JP Fans link to register, and input my referral code to get shipping coupons that total $86 after signing up. Hey, what's up guys? In this video, we're gonna talk about a model kit of a Gundam design I know some people don't really care for. Personally, I'm also not the biggest fan, but I also don't hate it. Now, in terms of the series, I know it's kind of wacky compared to the usual Universal Century Gundams, but I would say it's a product of its time. It was produced after the Zeta Gundam series, which was kind of very dramatic, and they pretty much had to compete with the Super Robot anime genre, which had a little more fun aspects or overall tone to them. But to give it some points, it does get a bit serious about halfway through the story. I guess they just realized that people still loved Gundam for how it was made in the previous iterations. But yeah, I don't hate it, but what I do hate is something that kinda copies the concept. Taking a look at the box, we have a nice artwork of the Enhanced Double Zeta in VerKa style. And if you notice, it's in multicolor. Usually Premium Bandai boxes are in monochrome, but this one is one of those cases where they give special treatment to some Premium Bandai model kits, I guess. This came out in 2017, and the original Double Zeta Gundam Ver.Ka came out in September of that same year. They released this one soon after in December. The Full Armor Double Zeta Non-Gundam was released in 2020. Then the Full Armor Double Zeta Gundam Ver.Ka, which I think you should get instead of this Enhanced Double Zeta. More on that later. Came out just recently in February 2026. Looking at the gaps between these iterations makes me miss the time Bandai would release several master grades in a year. Anyway, back to the box, we get the usual two identical box art sides, and then a side with the specs of the Enhanced Double Zeta, as well as the front and rear view of the completed model. Although they're not really labeled as new features or gimmicks, we have some close-ups of the new features for the Enhanced Double Zeta. And on the last side, we have more information of the Enhanced Double Zeta, which explains the Enhanced Double Zeta Gundam was piloted by Judo Ashita in Mobile Suit Double Zeta for the final battle against Haman. This kit recreates the refurbished and upgraded sections with new parts. The colors are also made to resemble the colors used in the animation. Pretty interesting that Bandai considered the Double Zeta to have enough of a fan base for them to work on the enhanced version, while something like the Kshatriya still is nowhere to be seen in master grade form. Now fans have to rely on third-party productions like the Osiris. Opening the box, we get 22 runners, including the huge clear pink beam effects and polycaps. We get some foil sensor stickers and a big sheet of water slide decals. As for the manual, we have a completed build of the Enhanced Double Zeta in the front cover, and pages with some more information about the Gundam. And the manual tells you that you can build either the Enhanced or regular Double Zeta Gundam from the parts that are included in the box. I think that's pretty cool, especially if you want to consider mixing and matching some of the parts, which I am considering for myself. I'll get to that in a later segment. Of course, at the end we have a color chart and the paint guide, but I'll be sticking to the regular assembly instructions for now. Putting this model kit together was pretty fun. I didn't do a live stream of it just because I wanted some time to myself, and I honestly enjoyed it. I know I told you guys that I would do more live streams, which is still true. I just want to figure out a way to do things that's both fun for you guys to watch and fun for me to do. And here's the Master Grade Enhanced Double Zeta Gundam Ver.Ka with no added steps aside from the sensor stickers. Now talking a little bit more about the build, catering to my preference of having big pieces, the majority of the construction is made up of large parts, with just some small parts for special details like the vents and some extra joints for the transformation. I think this is a really good example of my ideal Gunpla build. It doesn't have an over-the-top amount of panel separation, but it has some nice details for where they matter. It's physically different from the regular Double Zeta Gundam in subtle ways. It has longer armor in the shoulders and the front skirts. It has longer toes, and longer rocket launchers and beam saber handles. Basically, the changed parts are just longer. but you really wouldn't notice how different it looks without having images of both side by side. Although I will say, I think the blocky thruster on the regular Double Zeta looks much better to me. In terms of what you get straight out of the box, you don't really get a lot. You get the Gundam, the double beam rifle, the two beam sabers mounted on the backpack with huge perfect grade size beam effects, a second core fighter, and both of them have clear landing gear accessories. The first core fighter is in the body of the Gundam, by the way, and some swappable fingers. You get fists, wide open holding hands, because the beam saber handles are pretty girthy, a single right-handed trigger finger attachment for the double beam rifle, and we have some separate closed fist hands for the transformation, because the swappable finger hands don't fit in the forearms. We also get a standing pilot figure of Judo Ashita, but for some reason only 2 seated pilot figures, even if this comes with 3 seats since the beam rifle also has a cockpit. And lastly, we have some action-based connectors for both the mobile suit mode and the transformed mode. Somehow when I see pictures and videos of the Double Zeta, I usually don't enjoy what it looks like. Now having some form of it right in front of me makes me appreciate it more. I also thought the Double Zeta would be super complex since this is a transformable mobile suit on top of being a VerKa, but it's actually not too complicated. From the bits of inner frame poking through the chunky armor to the added silver vent details, I really like how this model kit was designed. Now here's the Master Grade Enhanced Double Zeta Gundam beside my other model kits, the Real Grade Gramps version 2.0, the Pliobot Gurren Lagann, the Master Grade Gramps version 3.0, the Master Grade Gundam Mark II 2.0, the Master Grade Zeta Gundam 2.0, Master Grade Hyakushiki 2.0, the Master Grade Kublai, my fake plant, some Gundam Gashapons, and my previous most recent review, the Master Grade Tolgis Flugel EW. It looks pretty good paired with its rival for the final battle, the Kublai. Also, the chunkier proportions of the Double Zeta really stands out for me, since most of Gundam designs aren't as wide. I can see how this could be a great custom project of mine in the near future. But for right now, because this guy's world is ending, all because I skipped the Aegis Gundam transformation, let's transform this thing. As you can see, you can't really do a full transformation with the enhanced Double Zeta Gundam. For some reason, the animation design didn't account for the attachment points in the back of the legs, which isn't really too bad because you get the extra parts for the regular Double Zeta in the box. Like I mentioned in the unboxing, the manual tells you that you can either build the regular Double Zeta or the enhanced version. And at least they tell you in the transformation instructions that you can only complete the transformation in the regular Double Zeta form. Now, I don't really remember from watching the series years ago, but maybe it's because the enhanced Double Zeta doesn't transform anymore for the final battle. But it is pretty funny that Bandai didn't design an extra attachment point just to make this work without having to use the regular Double Zeta parts. Luckily, we get to mix and match the parts that we want. I also want to mention that I think it's pretty cool that they give you 2 core fighters, so you can have one to display as a core fighter all the time alongside the Gundam, or have the 2 separate transformed components as the core top and the core base. Although, sadly, even with multiple flying transformed modes, Bandai does not include a single action base with this model kit. I really just dream of the day when Bandai just includes an action base for all Gunpla kits. Okay, so let's check out the joints of the Double Zeta Gundam. Starting off with the head, there's a hinge and a ball joint. But because of this armor at the back of the head, it's still easy to move around the head, but it's kind of limited. Here it is looking all the way down, all the way up. Moving on with the shoulder binders, they can rotate this way, and they hinge outward like so. The shoulder joint should allow a full rotation, but because of the binder's bulkiness, you have to move it out of the way to make use of it. With all the moving parts involved in the shoulder, you can move the arm this high up, and you just get the usual bicep swivel. We get a double jointed elbow bend. The wings on the arm can rotate and hinge in and out like so. The wrist is actually just a peg, as you can see, so the hands just swivel, but the thumb is on a ball joint, and it's also segmented with a hinge. But we also do get a fixed posed hand, which has the ball joint connection, so this is the one that can wiggle around, but it is for the transformation. The body doesn't really do anything. It's just a block with a core fighter in it. It just has this subtle side to side tilt. If you want to count it, there is an opening cockpit hatch, although I removed the pilot figure from the core fighter here. Now for the front skirts, they're on ball joints. It can move up and forward this much, and they also have this slight hinging outward just to help things get out of the way. The side skirts are pretty much wings on ball joints. They can hinge up and out like so, and they can also rotate on that ball joint, and they also hinge back and forward like so. Now for the leg articulation, it's not all that great. It can move up and out this far, but pretty much nothing to the back because of how bulky everything is. The legs can only spread out this much, although there is a hinge that can act like an ab crunch, or maybe extra movement for kicks. And then the upper leg can turn all the way around, and then here's the full knee bend. It's kind of hard to understand that it's bent because of how chunky everything is. Here's what it looks like. And then we have some moving knee armor and shin armor. The lower leg armor also kind of moves in and out. And then for the foot, it can swivel. It can point this far down and this far up. It can also swing side to side. You can kind of get an extra toe bend if you make use of the transformation gimmicks, but to me it looks kind of weird. Now for the backpack, there's also a few things that can move. You have these hinges for the beam saber holders, and they're on ball joints there as well. These can move in and out like that because they're supposed to be beam cannons. And then we have the missile launchers that can shift upward and open. We have minimal flapping for the covers of the thrusters, and each thruster is on a ball joint. And we have these wings that can bend outward. The whole backpack can actually hinge forward a bit, but that doesn't really do much. It's mostly just a leftover movement from the transformation. As for the beam rifle, you get hinges like so, and the barrels can also fully rotate. We get an opening cockpit hatch and some landing gear options. The sensor can also fold. Now for the core fighter, this is basically in the flight mode, but it can collapse into the core block used for inside of the Gundam, and it pretty much folds up just like so. The enhanced Double Zeta Gundam Ver.Ka, and I guess by extension, any form of the Double Zeta Gundam Ver.Ka, gets limited posing options because of the articulation, specifically twisting at the hips. It is pretty chunky for some of the parts, but all the joints give it enough movement. So really the only hurdle for articulation is to get creative enough to make it look good without the twisting body. But you also have to take into account that there is no action base included straight out of the box, so that would also add to the limitations for some posing options. That said, the untwistable waist is not really a deal breaker for me, since I'm a big fan of subtle floating poses anyway. But I can see why somebody could skip the Double Zeta because of this. As for having no action base, I know it's easy enough to buy it separately, but for me that's another extra thing that you have to think about. Because if the action base just came with it, you wouldn't have to go through the trouble of looking for one. So I can see this is another turn off for some builders like me that want action bases all the time. Overall, I think the enhanced Double Zeta Gundam and maybe all the other forms of the Double Zeta Ver.Ka could be a really nice addition to Gunpla collections. The unique, bulky design definitely sets it apart from most other Gundam designs available. And to add to its uniqueness, it's even transformable. Although the enhanced Double Zeta does need some tweaking with mixing and matching parts to securely complete the transformation. But for this one specifically, the enhanced Double Zeta Gundam Ver.Ka, being a premium Bandai kit, this goes for a pretty high price. I just chose this over the new full armor model kit because I'm not a very big fan of covering up a whole set of armor with another set of armor. armor. But that version does come with a huge cannon, so honestly I think it would have been a better deal to get the new full armor Double Zeta Gundam, even if I didn't plan on using the outer armor, just because you get extra stuff for kind of a similar price. That said, I'm still pretty happy with this model kit, because at least I still have some form of the Double Zeta Gundam. Let me know in the comments if you would get this over the regular, or would you even get the new full armor Double Zeta. If you want to hunt for your own rare premium Bandai kits like this or other anime collectibles, check out JP Fans. JP Fans is a proxy service that helps you shop through listings in Japan, making it easy to find Japanese products like Gunpla. So if you want to hunt down your next Gunpla kits with great deals, head over to the video description, use my JP Fans link to register and input my referral code. By using my affiliate link and referral code, you'll get shipping coupons that total $86 after signing up. Browse through the website or download the app. Once you find your items and JP Fans gets a hold of your orders, you'll also get a free quality inspection, so you get to see the state your items are in before they send you your package. Also, here are some saving tips when you shop on JP Fans. When you find your collectibles, you can combine multiple items into one package. This saves a lot on shipping. Also make use of their shipping calculator for delivery estimates. And for the most part, use ECMS as your shopping handler. It can be slower, but it's much cheaper than UPS. I think even when you're in the US. Try different item combinations before submitting. Sometimes splitting your order into 2 smaller boxes is also cheaper than 1 big box. Again, make sure to use my link and input my referral code, so you get $86 of shipping coupons. Special thanks to JP Fans for helping me add premium Bandai kits to my collection. Thank you to my very first channel member, Iron Beagle 009. If you want to support the channel more like them, there's a link to my Patreon page down in the description. And like I just mentioned, channel memberships are now open as well. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, leave a like below. If you want to see more model kit builds and reviews like this, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.